This is your daily market recap for Thursday, March 10th, 2022. Let's go. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for March 10th. 2022. It is Thursday. Let's start as we always do in the Discord room. Always drop in some tweets and links to things that I think that are interesting. Again, if you're not a member of the Discord room, please check the link in the description below. Chatting, even if you ever need to get in touch with me, this is a good place to do it. Let's jump into it. Hopefully you're having a good week. I know it's a little volatile. Bitcoin, I've kind of changed my mindset on this. I used to think this was a big cup and handle. Now it just looks like a big chop zone or digestion zone, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you went on a monster run and now it needs to digest. I don't think there's anything necessarily bearish or bullish about it, other than if you can get near the lows, you should buy it. If you can get near and just play the game. I mean, we talked about this VAP zone here being an issue. We've backed off. Let's zoom in, I guess. I mean, you've broken the downtrend, but the problem is you're not really you're not taking off yet, and that can happen sometimes. At this point, you just got to watch 35,000 and 45,000. That's a pretty big range, but that's what it's trading in. So you just, until that changes, you have to just be aware of it. It's just that simple. Oh, crap. All right. The TLT. This is interesting where we're at today, because I was posting earlier that TLT is back at the lows of the range, and the market isn't going to like higher rates. I don't think the market thinks the economy can sustain higher rates at this point. We have filled the gaps. We are below the gap. You are below this. I don't know. It's really tough. Let me redraw this, because I think it kind of looks more like something like this kind of trend line. I know that's not really that sexy or pretty looking, but at this point, it's tough to know. It's really tough, because in my mind, I don't think the feds want the rates to start taking off. I don't think they can really afford it. And so at this point, if you're watching the market and you're watching the bond market, just keep it simple. I mean, if we break 133, check out the monthly again, because maybe this is a head and shoulders top monthly. Then I think you're going to come into the 100-month pretty quick. I don't know how the fiscal, the government can afford higher interest rates fiscally. I mean, it just doesn't seem possible at this point. They will do everything they can to keep the rates low. Let's just keep an eye on it. Again, remember TLT inverse relationship. If this breaks, this could open the dam for the SPY to spill more. I have interesting areas on the SPY we'll talk about shortly. I think the market is going to go lower short term, but I could be wrong here. I mean, chop to lower. That's my first 1,000-foot flyby as I kind of review the charts after being gone for the last 4 days. The dollar, we talked about it breaking out. I said if it held the 100-day in this range low, it could go higher. It would hit some old resistance. Now you're backing off. I mean, the dollar is the least piece of trash out there. I mean, if you think of currencies as fiat dollars are just a joke. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I think the dollar is going slightly higher to chop. I mean, I don't think it's much downside. The VIX. Okay, so here's where the market I think is going to get interesting. It's holding high and tight. I put out a tweet earlier, so you got to hold the 31 level. I would not be surprised if we chop around and hold the 20-day at this point. I know it's kind of coming up here. It'll take a couple days. It's going to just be aware. The FOMC meeting's coming up. And the market just ain't going to do much. And when I mean the market ain't going to do much, like it's going to wait for the feds to confirm, hey, we're raising 50 points, raising a quarter point. What is our outlook? I mean, that's what the market's going to wait for. So if you can't anticipate chop like that, and you can't just sit here and just know the winners are going to win and the losers are going to go nowhere and the market overall could be choppy, just don't overtrade. Yeah, talked about this 20-day last week and it failed it. Went back towards the range lows. This is where trading gets hard. I mean, you could have bought that, I guess, that area, but you would have. Remember sometimes how I get in early? I didn't get into anything here. I'm watching the SPY. However, I do have a thought about where the market's going to go. Let's check out the monthly, because always know your references. So there's an old trend line here on the monthly. I would not be surprised at some point we test the 407 again with the 20-month right there. I mean, that just seems very logical to me. That means you're probably going to head lower at some point. And at this point, I think you can assume it will, because I'm not trying to, I mean, you can't say this is an uptrend. Anyone who says this is bullish, like meaning uptrend, I mean, you can trade the up. Certain stocks are holding up. But when I look at this overall chart, I don't say this is bullish. What have I said? You got to break the downtrend to get bullish. And we tried to break it on the 20-day, last week. So at this point, if you're a bear, wait for pops to short. If you're a bull, I think you can just be patient. Just wait a little bit. You got to let the Feds speak. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Let them do what they're going to do, or sell the rumor, buy the news. Same thing here with the Qs. I mean, you're retesting the range lows. Qs, again, look weaker to me. They're below the 20-month. However, if you look at the first fib is this 25% fib. 312 seems logical. Again, I don't think the market's going to unwind completely on the first drop. Now, again, if you're a bear long term, which, again, I mean, I can see the value in being in it. Just look at the 20, if you study past, the lower high is the short. Because now look what happens. You got all the moving averages starting to curve over. So what you want to see if you're a bear to short, you just want to see a big pop. Then you can short the shit out of it. But until then, it's, you got to play it as is. I think there is some downside in the markets, but not a ton. Not a ton. I would say 2, 3, maybe 4%. IWM, we talked about selling up here just because I wasn't around to play this and buy this. At this point, I'll just watch for the gap fill. I would not be surprised if you got 192, even 188. I mean, everything is on the table. If the market's going to melt a little bit, I mean, again, let's always zoom out because you got to see where you're coming from. Notice where we're holding this old trend line here on the monthly. So far, so good for the IWM. There's not much to say. I do like shorting the UVXY. I know the VIX is up in the 30s. I don't, again, if you get anyone in the low 20s, I think, and the market's melting, I think you got opportunity for a big trade to short the UVXY. GLD, man, every single day that this is down, people are just nuts. They absolutely lose their shit. They cannot comprehend that, hey, when you break the downtrend on a monthly, it just doesn't go up every single day. However, you got up near the highs. I like to see this. I don't want to see gold breaking out with the Feds, because if then the Feds will focus on it. If gold can sit here high and tight, let's play the what if game. I would be watching this 183, this trend line top to 182. I mean, there's a big node of volume here from this day. Again, I'm not chasing. I always tell people, like, I like the metals, but please don't chase. Please don't hit me up and go, hey, I bought silver at 25. Now what? Like, what the fuck were you doing? I mean, again, excuse my language, but talked about the no-brainer buy zone. You buy down here. Now look at the monthly on silver, and this is where you have to be cognizant of, like, you're over the 20-month. You've broken the downtrend. Is every day going to be up? No, but here's what's great. Let it play out. Like, just every day is not going to be a super monster rise, and just be aware, the more greedy you get, the more likely it's going to pull back short term. That's what typically happens with the stocks. Like, run, oh, pull back. Run, pull back. I mean, that's natural. I mean, again, most people just don't recognize the natural shake and bake mentality of an uptrend. I mean, everyone wants a straight line move, but stop. If you have that mentality, you've been trading you have not been trading long enough, and you're on StockTwits trying to cheerlead and pump with people on stocks that's not how stocks work. They don't go up every day. Maybe you're used to playing some of these names that can go up pretty quickly, but guess what? Those are usually typically pump and dumps and just crazy ass moves that, hey, if you catch them, great, but you got to trade them. Like, this is how an uptrend moves that could take months, maybe years. So keep that in mind. Let's go to the GDXJ or GDX, the miners. We got into resistance here. Let's draw it on the fly. It's on my other computer, but not on this one. I think you can see that this is resistance. It's little, just like this was resistance first. It backed off. Now we're up here, and everyone's going, oh, miners moves over. Well, first of all, if you were trading down here, and you were privy to be part of the room, part of the chat, part of YouTube channel when this first opened, if you bought down here in the 29s and you got up to 40, congratulations. You sold some calls. You needed a hedge short term. However, I'm not getting too aggressively on my I'm not selling any calls. I didn't get that price. I was gone. And you know what? Now I look at it and I look at the monthly. I go, what am I going to do? What, I mean, pull back a point or two, I guess, maybe 3. I think it's going higher. I mean, if I think it's going higher, why do I want to hedge if I don't have the top to hedge at? Got to be careful. You can raise. I mean, I could raise my stops. There's a lot of things here, but I think, again, when I see monthly trends breaking, I don't need to trade it every day. It doesn't mean every day or every week is going to be up, but stuff looks strong. I mean, I don't know how else to like wrap people's head around the fact that the markets just don't go your way all the time. AM, wow. If you bought this in the 50 range, you are happy at 62 and climbing. Keep in mind, we broke this down channel. I mean, and it's going higher. So, the monthly is not as clean other than the moving averages. I mean, it just, I don't know what to tell folks who just said I need to overtrade or need to know what's going to happen on Tuesday. I don't know what's going to happen on Tuesday. What's going to happen on the Fed day? I don't know, but I'd rather see the metals down and consolidating, shaking out weak hands versus ripping to highs, because if they're ripping to highs on the Fed news, they better have some more news that gets this thing cooking. AG talked about buying this day down here on the 25th. You were happy. Again, I mean, there's going to be a lot of these. You're going to be happy if you like these trades, and that's just the nature of trading. If you're following me and you're hitting the trends right and you've got the trend as your friend, there's going to be a lot of, hey, congratulations. Here, 20-day, 50-day pop, same thing. Talk with PAAS. I don't know if anyone in the Discord room is trading PAAS. It's at the downtrend. Let's keep that in mind. It's probably going to break out at some point. Just okay. Here's another high five. Talked about this dip. He bought it at what, 28? I mean, boom. He was up to 34, pulls back to 28. Now it's just continuing higher. And now I will let people know that you are coming into the monthly trend line. This thing has once, twice, 3 times, 4th time a charm. Keep in mind where you're come from or where you're going. I think this is going much higher, but if you do decide that you need to take some off, I don't have a problem with that. Let's apply this thing to all my charts on this particular. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, it's close enough for government work. I would be watching it. I think, because keep in mind, you just went from 18 to 34. 18 to 34. Do the math. It's a nice trade. If you're in this, if you need to sell cover calls, take some profits. I mean, you do what you got to do. But if the monthly does break out, which after a straight line move, it could consolidate. But if that does, what is the upside at this point? I don't even know. I mean, I think it could probably get up into the 40 area. And I mean, these old channel highs, I mean, they're not even really that powerful at this point. Somewhere in here. I mean, again, I don't think people understand. Like once Momo comes to like rotates out of tech into materials can act like tech. VALE, we've been screaming at the top of our lungs, buy this thing in the 11s. It popped up to 21 and not surprised, it pulled back some, and guess what? It's finding buyers. It didn't get to the 20-day, which is a little sad, but that's what strong stocks do. They go up, they pull back. They go up, they pull back. They go up, they pull back bigger. Keep in mind, the bigger the up moves, the volatility, the bigger the choppiness can be. CCJ put out an alert to buy this and, like said, filled this gap at 22. If you bought it, congratulations. It got up to 28 at some point this morning. Check out the monthly. This blue zone has been resistance. We are breaking over it. I don't see why we would not get up into the 30 range in the short term. As you can see, there is a ton of muscle memory right in this area. Don't be surprised if we get up there. Let's apply that because that's a good one. Apply that. Yeah, just don't be surprised if you get up there. Oh gosh, you just fucked that up. Okay, good enough for now. Yeah, just don't be surprised. It's just one of those things where ultimately within the market and the mechanisms of the stock, I mean, it's breaking the monthly. So just keep that in mind. Not every month is up, but it looks good. Let's get into the names that I just would not touch with a 10-foot pole unless I want to trade them. Good old AMD. Again, we're going to run through these quick because tech is just lagging and I don't want to touch it. I don't want to buy it. You have a nice little double bottom. It's popping a little bit. Keep in mind, head and shoulders top. It is due to bounce. but it's not bullish until you break the downtrend. And I know this is a messy, ugly ass chart, but it's not breaking the downtrend, so let's keep it at that. Apple, we've talked about this having to hold up high, and it's not. It's just kind of making lower lows and lower highs. I would watch, because if the 200-day breaks, good old Apple, man, it's been on a monster run. I mean, people don't think about this, but I mean, even since 2018, went from 34 to 185 post split. That's a big move. It's due to consolidate. I mean, all of tech is, and it might go to places that you don't want it to go if you're a long-term tech bull, because that's what people don't understand. When inflation comes, tech is just not your friend. It just doesn't hold up well. 50-day on MicroStrategy, it's holding tight. Bitcoin, it's going to follow. It's holding up pretty well. Got to call what it is. It looks okay. I'm not really sure I would buy it unless I get a better price, but if you're holding it, looks okay. Roblox, man, this thing is just taking the steps lower at this point. I mean, your reference is now 39. I feel bad for people who just buy and hold stocks. I try to explain to them there's nothing that you can hold forever. Maybe the SPY, but even the SPY has times of pain. And when I mean pain, I mean long-term pain. It could be years. I mean, you just never know with stocks. So that's why you got to be very cognizant of things. Yeah, let's do it. Rivian and Tesla, let's get into them real quick. Rivian, at the 168, dog poop. Tesla, this thing we called the top in the 1200s, didn't get the exact highs, but we said, hey, this area was going to get whacked at some point. You've pulled back, and now again you're under the 20-day. You can't get over the uptrend. It's just due to channel lower. I don't think at this point, I mean, look at the monthly. I said hold the channel low. So far it's just like holding tight to it. So I don't think you need to be in a rush to buy it. Like if you Justin Pulitzer did a good job of identifying something that I noticed in Tesla as well, is that it responds well to trend breaks. It can go sideways for a long time, but as soon as the trend breaks, technically people jump on hard. Let's get into PENN. This one's been holding up pretty well, and it pulled back with the market. I mean, it head and shoulders bottom, maybe watch the 42s. UTHR, this one has just gone nowhere. We talked about like, hey, it needed to get over this level. It didn't. Pull back. However, you want to see a higher low. This candle today could be a short-term bottom. Just keep that in mind. I don't have anything on it. EXPI, I mean, again, if you can get this thing in the 22s, it's holding up pretty well. As you can see, that's it. That's the range low. Let's look at the monthly. You can see the monthly. Just there's your stop. I mean, you don't have to overthink it. Let's end it on Exxon Mobil and Xop. Xop, we talked about for weeks. Get over 113. Got over it. Looks okay. Exxon Mobil, I thought this would take a break, but it may have blown off. Like, it may have blown off. It's tough to know for sure. I've said to many people I would not chase this. I would wait for a pullback, maybe that 70s area. I did think oil was probably going to top short term. That doesn't necessarily mean the market's going to tank or gold's going to tank. It's just oil. I mean, it's just one of those things that's been on fire. Well, I apologize. It took a few days off. I was in VALE, got some snow. Great weekend. If you have any questions, as always, stop by the Discord room. Check out the educational videos. Check out everything on this channel. We got a bunch of stuff there for you if you're looking to trade and get educated. Again, trading's not easy. Keep an eye on X. Cheers. Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.